Unexpectedly, and sometimes unwelcome, games shine a light upon our inner thoughts. With that in mind, welcome to The Sims 4. This is Shrek Hubbard, a being of unknown origin believing that he is the answer to Willow Creek's problems. Likely created by colorblind aliens and perhaps John Lithgow fans, Shrek finds these innocent Sims fascinating and begins to walk the thin line between researcher and subject. Driven by pure altruism, Shrek takes it upon himself to give his greatest gift to these Sims, his superior and precious seed. This is his story. Not quite understanding the full purpose of an abode, a shed seemed to be the most suitable. It's both cozy and romantic, a location that many male Sims seem to cherish. It's worth mentioning that his clothing is heavily influenced by quick internet searches of successful womanizers. Approaching with guided intent, the female Sim seems to be far more likely to become pregnant. Sims are fickle and easily manipulated. Their inferiority to Shrek will only see benefit from his indefinite stay. It's not long until Shrek has refined his communication skills, and he discovers that females prefer the careful verbal fencing known as beating around the bush as opposed to a direct offer of coitus. How did this species get this far? The first interaction is successful. Well, of course it would be. She would receive odes of caring and satisfaction, colorful plants, affectionate contact, and visual stimulations through sexy posturing and posing. Shrek smirks at the thought of her successful swellings of a greener future. Soon after impregnation, she was released back into the wild, and it was time to identify the next target Sim. Meeting Sims in the open seems to be a rather slow process. The local gym, however, seems to be a meeting place to compare prowess between the Sims. These were worthy fighting grounds. Garnished with mirrors, male Sims would spend more time looking at themselves rather than the females. Watching other males struggle to grow their bodies, Shrek stood proud, already having the largest of frames. The other suitors fall by the wayside, turtling at Shrek's natural charm. Sims like to stay clean, and Shrek sees the opportunity to intercept between showers and lockers. His creepy nature flows strong, and he finds his stride in this fruitful environment. Is this what life is here in Willow Creek? A wash of unambitious Sims stumbling across each other's path in a hope of finding a partner for their spawn? Although the gym has been an excellent source of prime hosts, it still wasn't a suitable location for this species to procreate. It was time to take the game to the abodes. Researching other abodes has revealed previously unknown behaviors among Sims. Homeowners didn't seem to mind who entered their dwelling, or if they used their bed or ate their food. If anything, they seemed slightly annoyed to have not been included. The process of frequent copulation becomes more and more efficient when it's realized that Sims don't care which abode they're in, or if they're in their own bed for that matter. The gym is no longer the ideal location. The interactions could now be expedited by simply walking from door to door, like a traveling salesman, but more fulfilling. It's nearly too good to be true. Every Sim he interacts with ends up becoming ecstatic, and it's obvious that the town is benefiting greatly from Shrek's presence. Every good thing must come to an end, and for Shrek, that's the opportunities within Willow Creek. It's time to look to nearby towns for more fertile soil. The excursions prove fruitful. As Shrek would expect, it was hard to know when enough was enough. To take a breath and review progress. When would he know that he's bitten off more than he can chew? 15 kids later, Shrek still felt disconnected from society. A loosening grip of a disintegrating rope. Firming the relationship seemed necessary. Discovering, but not fully understanding the term girlfriend, it's clear now what must be done. Shrek would convince the host girlfriends that he is reliable and supportive, and that the future is bright. This made him feel more entangled in the community. With all these friends now established, a big party would be what is needed to express his immense ability to support so many people. Shrek put together the last of his shekels and bought what he needed for the party. Perhaps there would be new financial investors at the party. Naturally, a costume party would be ideal. Shrek would never understand why each girl arrived expecting to be the guest of honor, only to be surrounded by other strange women. Oddly enough, the party has no flow, and it results in a bunch of people standing in a field making awkward conversation. It's not clear what was said, but eventually women started to realize that maybe they all had something in common after all. Relationship statuses, which Shrek took a sudden dive, and it appears that Shrek couldn't possibly protect and satisfy all these women. Surely he would buckle under the pressure. They disperse with questions and doubt. Not to be defeated, a second party would set the tone. A second, more formal party, focusing on marriage. He would propose a marriage, affirming his position to commit. Surely this would convince them of his ambition. The party started with palpable tension. made worse by the uncomfortable black tie clothing under a relentless sun. Unsurprisingly to everyone but Shrek, the proposal fell flat. The scene was nothing more than a cocktail of bitter embarrassment and misery. Shrek's expedition into Sim society is a failure, but it's only his first attempt, and his ever-growing spawn is the foothold in which he shall return. Until Act 2, this is Cam. Thanks for watching.